Roll that ice. Congratulations, El Mariachi. You're first. You're first today. So congrats to you. India. What about India, dude? Is that where you're from? Idita Chowbal, dude. You're from India? That's cool. I mean, unless you're from one of the parts of India that's not cool. I don't know. You could either be a totally normal business person, or you could be like a street urchin or something, you know? I don't know. Dude, I was hoping for a stream for your bearded ass, and here we are. My bearded ass? Or a telemarketer, that's true. You got a point there. Could be a telemarketer. Beard is looking epic. Dude, it's starting to get really long. I'm starting to approach, I think, the longest I've ever had it. I think a couple more inches right around here. It's getting really long. Wow, you look more homeless than usual today, Paul. Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Feel like a tree wizard. Cool. Post Malone is giving away a Bentley, and you get to drive it around with him, or he will fly you out to California. Are you going to enter the contest? I wish he was giving away the Wraith. I don't really think Bentleys, I mean, whatever. I wouldn't turn down a free Bentley, but I'd rather have a Rolls Royce, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm more of a Rolls Royce kind of guy. But whatever. I mean, I don't know. Where do I enter that? Where do I enter to win a Bentley? He might want to take, well, yeah, he might want to take out the Wraith tonight. But if he's not, he should just give it to me, you know? It's on his channel. Okay. I'll have to look at that. In the world of Lord of the Rings, you would be a brown wizard. Yeah. Like, what was his name? Radagast, right? Radagast the Brown. Am I wrong about that? I think I'm not wrong about that. I think Radagast is the brown wizard. He's the tree wizard, right? Yeah. I think. I'm 90% sure I'm right. Yeah, in the Hobbits, they gave him a sleigh pulled by giant rabbits with antlers and shit. I don't know if I liked that as much, but Paul would be the fatter ass, the brown wizard. Oh, dirtbag Daryl. That was a low blow. What's your opinion of the Hobbit movies? They suck. That's a very broad opinion, but it's just not good. They tried to, you got to put it in perspective, right? The Lord of the Rings trilogy, there's a giant book for each one of those movies. The Hobbit is shorter than any of those books by themselves. So The Hobbit is much shorter than any. I think it only approaches the Two Towers in terms of length, and the Two Towers still beats it. And they managed to wring 3 movies out of one book that's shorter than any of the books that were the basis of the original trilogy. That's the problem. The problem is that they subtracted a bunch from, you know, the Lord of the Rings trilogy in order to make it fit, and then they added a bunch of bullshit to the Hobbit movies. I think the film, like the animated short for The Hobbit, while it's not the greatest thing ever, I think it did a way better job of portraying The Hobbit than the 3 movies did. I missed a super chat. I'm on Robert E. Lee Boulevard. Come visit me, Paul. Robert E. Lee. Oh, you're on Lee Road, huh? Well, I'll pray for you because you drive Lee Road. Which of the Lord of the Rings trilogy do you like most, Paul? I mean, for me, The Return of the King is so good. I like them all, though. It's hard to choose, but if you're holding a gun to my head, The Return of the King, just because it has the last ride of the Rohirrim and the Battle of Minas Tirith and that all of that whole sequence is just so fucking cool to me. It was my favorite parts of the book when I was a little kid. That last ride, and I actually, the first time I saw it, I got big old tears in my eyes because it was just so beautifully portrayed. It was so close to my mind's eye view from the book that it just was like, it was like seeing something that I had imagined my whole life. You know what I mean? It was just a beautiful moment. I love that scene. I love the showdown scene with the mouth of Sauron and the final battle as Frodo is trying to get up Mount Doom and get the ring thrown away. And like, I don't know, I just think that there are so many great set pieces in that film that it's hard not to choose it. Although I got to be honest with you, I love the Shelob or Shelob or however her name is, Shelob, or however her name is said. The spider, that was another one of my favorite parts of the original trilogy, the whole arc with the spider. I thought they did that really well as well. And I don't know, it's just hard. Can't stay long because I'm murdering myself in the gym. Love Lord of the Rings, keep it real. All right, dude, go kick ass at the gym, brah. Yeah, we were just talking about the animated Lord of the Rings films. I think they do a good job. I mean, they're okay. I like the Lord of the Rings films better than the animated series, but I like the Hobbit animated series better than the film, so. The villain in Lord of the Rings played Count Dooku in Star Wars. One of the villains in Lord of the Rings, yeah. Played Count Dooku. That's Christopher Lee as Saruman. Another great portrayal. I think one of the reasons why The Lord of the Rings was so successful for me is that I feel like so much of it was, so many of the cues were taken directly from the text. And The Lord of the Rings is such a descriptive book. It's filled with these long passages of description of the world, the woods, the people. And I think that so many of the cues were taken directly from those long-form descriptions. And I've read that book, that series of books, so many times that those descriptions are burned into my head. And I feel like they did such a good job at finding the visual style that would evoke the imaginations of the people that had read those books, like me. I hope they don't reboot The Lord of the Rings. I really don't see a need. Like, what would the need be? My favorite Harry Potter movie? I liked all the Harry Potter movies, to be honest with you. I'm not a huge, like, overwhelming fan of it, but I've read all the books except for the last ones. I never read the Deathly Hallows book, but I read all the other books, and I've seen all the films. And I don't know, the one that I have the most fun with is I think it's, I get them mixed up because there's so many of them. Which is the one that has the chick from the Ministry of Magic all in pink, but she's really evil, and she comes to, you know what I mean? That I think is that the Goblet of Fire? I don't know. Order of the Phoenix. Okay. Yeah, I like Order of the Phoenix. That's the one that I remember the most. Yeah, with Umbridge, Dolores Umbridge in it. Yeah. I like that one. You seen Blair White's latest video? No, where she says that people on the right are lying about believing what they say they believe and have paid protesters show up to protest them. I have not seen it, no. Yeah, I thought Umbridge was really great. I thought that whole, I don't know, I just really like that arc. I like the movies as they get older. If going back and watching the earlier movies now is kind of hard. That's probably just because I like the fact that the story becomes more adult as time goes on. You know, it goes from being kind of a child's fantasy kind of story to more of a tackling more adult themes. It gets darker, obviously, as it goes along, so I like that. I did not see Fantastic Beasts. It's cool that they had the same cast throughout all the movies. Yeah, that was a smart decision. A really critical design element. Yeah, to be able to see all of the same characters grow up and become adults was an interesting exercise in movie making. Dumbledore did change actors, that is true. I thought they did a good job with that, as well as they could have done with it, you know. That's a really tough thing. Alan Rickman was absolutely tremendous in all the movies. You got a good point there. I mean, all of the characters were really, really expertly cast, in my opinion. I thought that Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort was really, really good. You know, Ron Weasley's character is probably the weakest in terms of acting, but I think that they found a way to fit his character. The rest of them do a really good job, I think. They could turn it into a TV series, even now with everyone knowing how it goes. Probably could. It is creepy to like Hermione. You watched her grow up, you pervs. Whoa, buddy. Well, it's not like we raised her, you know what I mean? I would have finished the series if not for all the mania turned me off real quick. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really pay attention to any of that. I don't have kids, so I didn't get like the whole constant barrage and assault of bullshit that came with the Harry Potter universe. I just watched the movies when I got a chance, you know, and they were all right. I mean, I've been following the e-cig bullshit. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's a scary thing for me, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be a smoker. I mean, I think I'm probably more prepared to cold turkey quit now because I've at least broken the mental, the physical kind of addiction to smoking. I don't need this anymore. And that sounds strange, but that's a really big part of smoking is breaking that physical addiction that comes with it. The actual act of having a pack of cigarettes, pulling one out, putting it in your mouth, lighting it, smoking it, that whole, just the physical ritual of that is a tough thing to break. So that's no longer a problem for me. I'm still a nicotine addict, obviously. I vape this thing all day, so that'll be a tough thing, you know, and there will certainly, if they do end up banning e-cigarettes, which I think would be a fucking, I don't know, just a ridiculous fucking move for the government to make. But if it does happen, and it looks like there's a good chance that it might, you know, there will undoubtedly be a moment where I'll be forced to stop myself from just going down and buying a pack of cigarettes. You know what I mean? That'll be my choice. The government's putting that choice back in my life. As a guy that smoked a pack or more a day of cigarettes for 16 years of his life, did untold, unknowable damage to his body, to his heart, to his lungs, to all of his organs, smoking horrible, horrible fucking cigarettes for 16 years. I finally found something that's vastly less harmful that I could replace it with, and I mean, I kind of agree too that like it is epidemic level. Like kids should not be using this shit. There's really no reason. They're banning them because kids are using them, and it is a problem, dude. Like there's a very, very real problem. Like now I've been out of the school game, but I've heard that like high schools and shit are littered with thrown away Juul cartridges and shit. Like kids are just, they shouldn't be able to get their hands on it because it's an addictive chemical. So I agree. Like I agree with, the government saying that they need to keep these things out of the hands of kids. I'm just hoping that in doing that, they don't keep them out of the hands of adults who are using them to quit smoking. You know what I mean? I'm fine with them restricting the sale of these things to kids, stiffening penalties to people who sell or give these things to kids. I don't want kids addicted to nicotine. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I think that's a bad thing. I don't think that high schoolers should be running around vaping. So, I can certainly see the impetus for them trying to make new laws about it or whatever, but I'm just hoping that me as an adult and an ex-smoker am able to get my hands on the only thing that ever helped me not be a smoker. I don't know about America, but here where I am, kids used to smoke around the back. We'll leave hundreds of cigarette butts. It'd probably be better if they vape rather than smoke cigs. I mean, I don't know, dude. Cigarettes are way, way harder to smoke in school. When I was in school, I'm not going to say that I never smoked a cigarette on campus, but the times that I did it, it was just not something you could do during school hours. The smell that was not only in the air around doing it, but on you after doing it was a dead giveaway. So yeah, it's super, super easy to hide vaping. It's not easy to hide smoking a cigarette. So it makes it even more possible for kids to do it. I just don't think it's a good idea. I mean, you're right, it'd be better for kids to vape than going and getting cigarettes, but the end result is still a child that's addicted to a chemical, you know what I mean? I mean, I used to smoke in high school. I started in high school, but I used to have to leave campus to do it most of the time. The times that I smoked on campus were times that I was on campus, not during regular school hours. So like when I was there after school for practice or whatever, for drama practice or rehearsal or whatever the fuck, like once everybody left campus and it was just the few of us there, I could go around back of the drama place and smoke anytime I wanted. But that was not during school hours, you know what I mean? Had a smoker's pit at your high school? Sounds like a cool high school. Smoked on campus. Well, yeah, I mean, like, you can do it. I'm not saying people didn't do it. I'm just saying I don't think they were doing it at the level that they're vaping at high school. At least they weren't when I was in high school. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, the first time I smoked, I didn't even start with normal cigarettes. I started with a clove, and the first time I did it, I knew I was going to do it forever. I was just like, oh man, this is it. My family, my mom and dad, neither of them smoked, so I didn't. But I did still grow up around. I had tons of family members; all their friends smoked, so I was exposed to it. Outside of my mom and dad, pretty much everybody in my family was a smoker. So I definitely had the genetic propensity for it. I think the only reason that my parents weren't smokers was because they watched so many of their family members die of, you know, cancer from it. I mean, you can vape in class without that. As long as you hold in, like it's water vapor, so it disperses. If you hold, like if I take a hit and then I hold it in for 20 seconds, what I blow out, especially if I just blow it into my sleeve or something, is nothing. I vape in the movie theaters and shit. Like when I'm sitting there, I don't blow big fucking clouds up in front of the shit, so everybody has to smell my bubblicious grape and shit. But if I want to take a hit while I'm sitting in the movie theater, I just wait until it's a loud point in the movie so nobody can hear shit crackling. That's really the only giveaway that it's happening. Take a hit, hold it in for fucking 20 seconds, and blow out basically nothing. So it's definitely a much more discreet thing. I'm all for them keeping it out of the hands of kids and shit, but I'm just hoping that in the process they don't send, you know, millions of people like me back to cigarettes, because that would be, whoa, check that out, what a hairdo. You guys like that shit? This is why we have a hat. Your principal was a dealer? Cool. Cool. If they're so discreet, then why does the legality matter? Because there's an addictive drug involved and children are vaping it. Children are buying and using it. That hair was something you see from the douchebags in anime, was it? Cool. Time to hit the clippers and go back to Robotnik, Paul. Nah, I'm letting the hair grow. I'm letting the hair grow. I immediately regretted cutting my hair the last time I did it. So this time we're just letting it grow. We're letting it happen. I wish I could go back and slap myself in the face for shaving off all that hair. Just give it a slap. Just, what are you doing? It's like a year and a half worth of hair growth there. And it's looking nice. Stop it. But whatever. And Paul, have you considered that the patch may work for you now? No, probably not. Yeah, the patch was never much help to me. I tried all the different smoking cessation methods. The gum, the patch, the lozenges. What else did I try? I tried a bunch of shit, man. I went and did, I never tried the smoking hypnotherapy at a fucking doctor, but I tried this homebrew kind of self-hypnosis therapy shit. Never did Chantix, but that's because I read about drugs before I take them. No, thank you. Whatever, I mean, maybe it's helped some people, but just read up about Chantix and see if it's a drug that you want to take. When it came out, I was like, oh. Went and read about some studies and read about some side effects and shit and was like, this doesn't sound like a good trade-off to me. What about just not stopping cigs? I mean, if I had not stopped smoking when I did, I stopped smoking in 2012. I have no idea. I might be dead. I don't know. When I stopped smoking, I gotta tell you guys, man, the reason I stopped smoking wasn't because of like a future fear of cancer. And it wasn't because of all the warnings about how unhealthy it was. It was because of how I felt. I felt like, I can't even explain it. And at the time I quit, it was 2012, I was 32 years old, so I shouldn't have been, but I felt like an old man. I was literally like sick all the time. Sick all the time, a sinus infection all the time. Getting up in the morning was horrible because I would cough up this horrible brown shit every day. I felt short of breath all the time. I felt like any kind of physical exertion would send me into just like, it was horrible. I just felt horrible. And that's why I quit. I quit because I was 32 years old and I felt like I was a decrepit old, like 70-year-old or something. So, I don't know, man. No BS, you don't feel that way now? No. No, I mean, I still feel like shit. I still feel pretty unhealthy because of my weight, but I don't feel anywhere near the way that I felt when I quit smoking. I can breathe better. That's true. I can get, I don't feel like physical exertion sends me into a cascade of exhaustion as quick. I don't get sinus infections anywhere near as often as I used to. I don't start my day with gagging up a bunch of grossness. Like, that just isn't a part of my life now. So, you know what I mean? That's why I quit, though. I just quit because I felt like ass. I didn't quit cold turkey. I used this. But I mean, yeah, I quit cold turkey. When I quit, I just moved over to this. And it was hard at first. It was hard for the first couple of weeks. It was like just barely kind of helping. But as I stuck with it, it became easier and easier, so. Do you think big tobacco companies might have something to do with the attack on e-cigs? I mean, I don't know why they would, because a lot of them own a lot of the, you know, counter brand e-cig shit. Like Blue e-cigs and stuff, I think, is owned by Marlboro. So I don't know why they would want to attack a revenue stream of their own. They're selling these things. I think this is more just kind of an over-concerned parent thing. And I really do think that some of the things that are being described sound like epidemic levels. Like, you know, I've seen pictures and shit of just high school trash cans littered with these Juul fucking things. Like, every kid has one. That's not a good thing. You know, you don't want kids running around fucking addicted to chemicals for no reason. I post a video on the subreddit where people unanimously praise the beating of a suspect. Okay. Tobacco companies don't want competition, they want a monopoly. I mean, every company would like a monopoly. Because kids didn't use nicotine prior to e-cigs. I don't think that they were using nicotine at the levels that they're using it now. As we said earlier, I mean, this stupid pedantic, like the argumentative people in the chat, like, this is a stupid argument. This is a stupid hill for you to die on. It is way harder to get away with smoking cigarettes on campus and in your personal life than it is to get away with vaping. Period. You don't reek of vape. You don't leave behind a cloud of stinky, fucking, disgusting, easily identifiable smoke. Your clothes don't smell like vape. It's just a stupid argument. Find something else to be argumentative about, because you're looking real dumb on this one. I just hate it when, like, the arguments come out of the fucking woodwork and start making fucking points that have absolutely nothing behind them other than to just be contrarian to something that I've said. Like, think about the things that you're typing out. Think about how dumb they make you look. Even if you are just a fucking, like, anonymous person who nobody could ever, like, point at you and go, wow, you're a dumb person that says dumb things a lot. Think about, like, carrying that perception around with you everywhere you go. Every time that you type something, somebody's thinking how dumb you are. I'm not tired of arguments. I really like them. I'm tired of shit arguments. Just terrible, terrible, backwoods, fucking shitty ass with no thought behind them arguments. That's what I'm tired of. I like a good argument. I like a good challenging of my perspective on things. But if you're going to go like, oh yeah, this isn't a problem because kids weren't smoking before. Like, if you're not going to consider any of the differences between smoking and vaping when you're making that argument, then shut your fucking yap. Period, right? Keep your fucking trap shut. Well, Paul, I think you are wrong. I don't give a fuck. If you're not going to explain to me why I am wrong, if you're going to make a dumbass argument. Let the salt flow. Oh, man. Here we go. Let me time you out for the unoriginal fucking meme comment. 300 seconds to think of something else to type in my chat, George. Same thing to you, Andy. 300 seconds. I'm okay with people vaping to quit cigs. I think teenagers are stupid. Yeah, they are. I mean, teenagers are stupid is just, you can just say that as a blanket statement, and it's true. It's the whole point. That's the whole point of having laws about what age you can be when you start doing things, because teenagers aren't capable of making intelligent decisions about their health and their future. That's why they have parents. That's why their parents are ultimately in charge of what they do until they're 18. Because they don't know what the fuck they're up to. They don't know how to make a fucking good decision for their life. Is Flash Fried Patreon only now? Nope. Flash Fried clips will be up today. My teenage coworker vapes like crazy. Cool. Cool for you. 50% of high schoolers think Yellowstone erupted in 2012. Really? Should the voting age be increased? No, I'm fine with the voting age being where it's at now. Is the full stream $10 only now? Nope, it's $5 only now. All patrons get access to the uncut stream. All non-patrons get access to clips. My 3-year-old cousin vapes and smokes 100 times a day at least. Damn. Starting them young, huh? 3-year-old. Adults can make intelligent decisions either because they have not medical education and don't fully grasp their actions. Yeah, dude. Whatever you say, dog. Whatever you say, dog. I'm a $5 patron, but if I click on Flash Fried, it tries to get me to buy the $10. It'll be released to $5 people. $10 people get it immediately because they watch it live. So they've got a link. The $5 one will go up today for $5 patrons. The $10 patrons just have access to it immediately because they watch it live. You see? You see how that happens? There are studies that show people who start vaping first, they will probably start smoking. Okay. Man, I'm pissed off now. I'm pissed off. My mood has gone dark. My mood has gone dark, dude. I just want to say nasty things to everybody now. 100% mood switch. Gear shift to a horrible mood now. I just want to roast everybody. I hate that this has turned into like this stream where we're trying to have a conversation about things, turned into a help desk for people. I hate the fact that I'm arguing with stupid, disingenuous cunts and timing out people who are unoriginal. I just hate what it's become. I hate the direction that this has gone. I just hate the direction that this has been taken. Now I wish I hadn't started it. Now I'm sitting here just wanting to roast every last one of you. Why? I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of my dark moods, dude. Just one of my dark moods. Let's dunk patrons only fucking Jacob Goodyear. Let's time him out for 300 seconds. No, I think I'm just going to time out people that are stupid. I think I'm just going to quietly try and suppress this bad mood this angsty fucking mood that you guys have put me in, and I'm just gonna start quietly 300-second timing out and then subsequently banning people that come back and say the same shit. I think a good pruning is in order, maybe. I think that there's a few people here that have been hanging around for a long, long time that have really, really needed a fucking nuke. And I think maybe today is the purge. I think that anything that pisses me off today, even minorly, anything that rubs me the wrong way, is gonna get fucking absolutely nuked. I think it's time to prune the tree. I would love that, dude. I would love there to be a way better top chat that could, I don't know, like if a comment was grammatically nonsensical, just doesn't show it to me. That person is the only person that gets to see their nonsensical comment. If it's a shitty joke, if it's a meme that's been said a million fucking times already in somebody's chat, like, just hide it from me. Just let that person think that it went out. You know, for all intents and purposes, that's the best kind of banning, is shadow banning. It's the type of banning that I wish every platform had. It's the one thing that I think that Twitter does well, allowing you to quote unquote shadow ban a person. So when somebody says something stupid to me on Twitter and I'm tired of looking at their stupidity, I don't ban them, because then they look at it and they're like, oh, this person banned me. I just mute them. So what happens is that person, till the end of time, sits and sends me shit that they think I'm seeing, and I'm not seeing it. It's the perfect solution. And every one of these platforms should have it. Every one of these platforms. If I could mute people in this chat, can you imagine how much better this chat would be? Just imagine. If people literally never knew. So like when they go back and watch the show, they still see their comment because they're not muted to themselves. So it just rolls by. Everybody else can see it, but me, it never happened. That's beautiful. Free speech, anyone? Let me just prove to you that this is not a free speech zone. Here you go. This is my house. In my house, I get to push a button that tells you you can't talk for 300 seconds. Now, this is not a free speech zone, my friend. This is a private zone. This is a zone where I get to decide what goes out and what doesn't. And if you don't like it, you can go watch something else. Yep. This is not a democracy. This is not an area where everybody gets their 15 seconds to stand up on the fucking tree stump and give their speech. This is a place where you exist at my fucking whim. And if you don't like it, well, go find somebody else to watch. Go find somebody that's willing to let you fucking spew diuretic nonsense in their fucking chat constantly, because it ain't me. Grumpy Paul, indeed. I told you, dude. It's a mood problem. And it's something that happens to me very quick. I can go from being in a very, very jolly, kind of magnanimous mood, like I was when I sat down. Like when I sat down, I kind of felt like talking to you guys, and now I just feel like fucking on you. That's a mental problem of my own, probably, but, you know, it is what it is. You guys got to deal with it, not me. Bipolar, no. It's not a bipolarity thing. It's just a mood problem. It's connected to my depression and my anxiety. It's very, very easy for me to be pushed into a dark mood or push myself into a dark mood. It's happened here. It's kind of fun that you guys get to see it happen. Maybe it's a conversation that we can have. What started it exactly? I think it started with the contentiousness that people were putting in the chat about me saying that it's a bad thing to sell addictive chemicals to people that are teenagers that don't have the foresight to make smart decisions about their lives. There's a reason that there's a child-adult division. And the fact that there were just, like, I don't know, 8 or 10 people in here constantly posting paragraphs of bullshit that had absolutely no thought behind them, and that fucking responding to was just an absolute waste of my time. I think that started it. And then I think that, after that, the fact that it turned into a help desk for people, I don't do these so that people can ask me questions about like other things that I do. I do these to have a conversation about these. This is not like a ask me anything kind of, got a question about the patron, and I don't mind answering questions here and there about patron stuff, but like when it just becomes a constant fucking, what do I do with this? What about the clips? What about this? What about that? It's just like, man, this is not, I didn't start this as a help desk for people, so that fucking pushed it in a terrible direction, and now here we are. Now here we are. From a good mood to a bad mood. There's the link. As far as I can tell, there might have been something else, but I can't think about it. Can't think about anything else. I'm protective of the flow of conversation here. And when there are people that are constantly trying to change that flow or interrupt that flow with nonsense, or they come here with some kind of an agenda, they feel like they want some fucking question answered by me, and they're just going to keep typing it and typing it and typing it and typing it. I don't know. It just pisses me off. Puts me in a bad mood. Should quit if you can't take it, though. Take your own advice, bitch. You don't like hearing me complain about what a stupid bunch of fucking idiots you guys are? Have 300 seconds to find somebody else to fucking watch. How do you like that? How's that for an answer to your fucking conundrum? That clean it up for you? I mean, trolls drive the conversation sometimes. I thought Paul was a man of gaining knowledge, Paul. 300 seconds to fucking learn how to type a complete sentence. That was a sentence fragment. And it made absolutely no sense. There you go. 300 seconds to learn basic grammar. Something that you couldn't learn in probably 18, 19, 20 years of life. Now you got 300 seconds to do it. It's kind of like someone coming up into you. Yeah, dude, I hate that shit. I hate that shit. I've been pissed off about that for the longest time. People that don't understand the flow of a conversation and just come in with an agenda to talk about something that they want to talk about, and there's a nice conversation going on at a nice clip. And of course they're invited to come and take part in that conversation, but they come in and they're just like, one time my grandma slapped me in the face. And it's just like, fuck you. Go away, you idiot. Get out of here. Shoo. Take your need to be the center of attention elsewhere. We're having a conversation over here. That's another dying art, man. Storytelling, oral, like the straight one-to-one storytelling is a dying art. Conversation is a dying art too. I'm trying to make it happen here, man. That's what this show is about. It's about trying to make a conversation happen with the people that watch me. And the art of conversation is all but dead. All but dead. People don't do it anymore. We don't converse anymore. We don't have an open exchange of ideas anymore. We just yell memes at each other. Attempt to derail people that are actually having a conversation about something. That's more important than the actual conversation these days. Conversation is such an art. It absolutely is. There's 300 seconds. If you want to see how conversation is an art, go into any Discord chat, really, and see if you can pick out the people who don't know how to have a conversation. You should be able to immediately. They will be the people that key up as soon as somebody's done talking and start talking about something completely different in hopes that people will go and talk about that. That's a person that doesn't know how to have a conversation with a human being. They somehow made it to an adulthood, to a state of adulthood, without knowing how to sit down with another adult and talk about something. How sad is that? How sad is that? You're not allowed to change the conversation. What if there's a silence? See? Here we go. Somebody that did not think before they fucking talked. Somebody that typed out like a whole sentence and didn't even think about it. Where did I say that there was a pause in the conversation or a natural point for the conversation to change? So you are either somebody who's trolling, probably the case, or somebody who's so dumb that they typed that whole fucking sentence out without thinking about what the conversational topic is. You think some people who claim social anxiety is an excuse for people who can't read social cues? It's not. I have anxiety. I have social anxiety. I just learned how to overcome it because I realized that it's not other people's problem, it's mine. So I don't go walking into conversations without an idea what's going on because I control my own proclivities and I take responsibility for my own mental issues. Think before you type. Actually, before you hit enter, before you hit send on a comment, read it back to yourself. And if the sentence doesn't make sense, if it's a run-on sentence or a fragmented sentence, or there's a misspelling or misused word in it, then you erase it. Type it again, then read it again. Didn't find any grammatical errors in it? Cool, step one done. Now read it again. Is it taking into account the other things that are being talked about? Is it a good point? Does it need to be heard? Does it actually open up an avenue of conversation, or does it stupidly misunderstand the conversation? If it stupidly misunderstands the conversation, or is an easily refutable piece of shit argument, then you erase it and come up with something else to say. That's how a conversation takes place. It requires a filter up here, so that when you run your mouth, see, that filter catches dumb things, catches things that are antithetical to the conversation, catches things that are distracting from the conversation, catches things that have already been covered in the conversation. It's a filter that you have up here that doesn't let every stupid donkey-ass fucking idea come out of your mouth. You need to develop it. A lot of people in here need to develop it. You need to develop this kind of social shame filter where I don't want to look stupid in public, so I'm not going to say stupid shit. How can you read social situations? 300 seconds to figure it out. I got your name now, Bob Bago. I'm more than happy to keep timing you out. Have you considered that people only do that to be annoying? Yeah, I've considered it. They're successful. It's annoying. Why not just have a conversation flow through donations and disable the chat? Because this isn't a show where I beg for donations. People want to drop a super chat, I'm happy for them to do it, but you don't hear me begging for it here. That's not what this show's about. I don't do this show to make money. I do this show to interact with people, to have an ongoing conversation with the people who watch me. That's what this show is about. That's what it's always been about. People have to stop thinking the world is going to cater their personal agenda. You have to fight and make your case. I mean, you have to start with a good argument, and you got to think about something. See, a lot of the things that I get the idea that there are some people that do things to just be annoying, but I get the idea that a lot of people are just attempting to converse at a level that they never practiced to converse. Like, you know, all of their conversations take place online where nothing matters, where they're just an anonymous voice in the crowd, and maybe their comment is seen and maybe it isn't. And if it is and it's stupid, it doesn't really mean anything, because by the next comment, they're just a face in the crowd. Nobody remembers them anymore. There's no, you know, we've talked about this a bunch of times in recent Highdeologies, but it's something that's really, really on my mind. The lack of fucking any kind of personal accountability for things that are said, for ideas that are put forth. That used to be a central part of how a person developed themselves as a thinker, a talker, a conversationalist, a storyteller, a scientist, a journalist. That kind of personal accountability, that kind of, I don't say things unless I've vetted them through my own set of personal, rules. I have a vested interest in not saying things that are stupid. Those days are gone. Those days are 100% gone. Now you just make an account, you put whatever picture you want next to it, you give yourself whatever name you want, and the things that you say no longer have any personal consequence to you. So that's how people converse now. They converse in an environment where if you say something stupid, it doesn't matter because you never were. You never existed. You weren't a real person. You weren't a real entity, so that the thing that you say that made you look like a stupid ass is never pinned to your shirt. You can just go make something else. No accountability, no repercussions for stupidity. Paul, quit being an ass. That's a ban. That's not even a fucking 300-second timeout. That's just a full-blown ban. Go make another fucking account. Perfect example. Perfect example. Burger Squirter will be back in 5 to 10 minutes with another account, and nobody will know that it's him. And the stupidity that he rolled out into this chat will never be pinned to his shirt. Isn't it great? Isn't that a great way to have a conversation? Isn't that a great way to run a society in an environment where people say stupid shit, make stupid derailing comments, and then never have to answer for it? They're not known now. You can't just click on their profile and see, oh, I'm a person who's a stupid fucking retard who spends his entire day derailing comments and making stupid out-of-pocket fucking comments. No. It's just Bob's Burger Squirter. Hey, here's a dumb comment. I'll be back in a minute. That's what we are now. That's the type of conversations that we have now. Zero accountability conversations. People that are too scared to have the stupid shit that comes out of their mouth appended to them. That's not a problem. And a lot of people defend that like, well, anonymity is important. If these people were on the ground in some totalitarian regime, giving information about what it's like in a country that's had its media shut down or given over to fucking state control, yeah, that's when anonymity is a problem. When you're some dipshit coming into my chat going, hoopy doopy poopy loopy, Paul makes a scoopy poopy. When you're that's not some place we need to protect with anonymity. That's somebody that should have that poopy doopy pinned right to the front of their shirt like a scarlet letter so that everybody can see that that's the type of person that they are, so that you cannot waste your time having a conversation with them. So that when they walk up to you and go, hey, Paul, what do you think of the situation going on in Israel right now? You can click on their profile and go and see nothing but poopy doopy, scoopy doopy, and go, I'm not going to waste my time getting in a conversation with your dumb ass because you bring nothing to the table. What happened to that? What happened to them days? Them days was good. See ya. See ya, kid. See ya, kid. I like your one anon account and one real ID account. I'd vote for it. Yep, that's a good idea. Everybody gets 2 accounts. One account that's anonymous, that isn't appended to your personal existence, and one that is. You take the anonymous account in here and go poopy doopy scoopy poopy, and I ban you. And if you want to come back, you got to use your real account. I ban that one, you're done. You don't come back. It's sorely needed. That way, anybody that wants to say something that they feel is politically challenging, that they might face repercussions for, can use their autistic fucking anonymous account to say it. And once that one's burned, well, if I want to say poopy doopy scoopy loopy in Paul's chat, it's got to be right there with my name on it. Charles Grove. And then people will know that Charles Grove of Goodson, Indiana, is a guy that spends his whole day going poopy doo 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 caca. And they won't have a talk with you then. Then people will look at you and go, wow, what a fucking retard. I'm not gonna waste my time talking to fucking Charles Grove from Indiana. What an idiot. Look at what he does with his account. Look at how he talks to people. Poopy scoopy. Poopy doopy scoopy. Yep, not gonna waste my time with this idiot. That way, there's accountability for you. If you're an idiot, you gain the attribute of an idiot. You spend some time in a community and all of a sudden people know, hey, that guy's an idiot. There's consequences. You don't just get to go, oh, I'm a dumbass, get banned and then come back 5 seconds later because you've got nothing better to do than create alternate accounts all day. It needs to be over. 2 accounts. 2 accounts per person. One that isn't traceable to your fucking personal life and one that is. Use them both for poopy doopy scoopy if you want. You know how immediately, if this was enacted, immediately conversation would be reborn in this country. Immediately there would be a group of dumbasses complaining about how they can't talk anymore because their dumb shit got banned. And the rest of us would be having adult conversations that are interesting. We'd be laughing and having a good time together, having an ongoing conversation. I think people would troll on the Anon account and do smarter conversations on the other one. Absolutely. And when they trolled on that Anon account, when they said stupid shit that added nothing to the conversation or did nothing to the conversation but derail it into some stupid fucking argument, then they'd be banned. And then they wouldn't have a second Anon account to come back with. Then they'd be like, well, I could come back as my actual identity, Joe Smith from Goodyear, Michigan, and keep doing poopy scoopy and then have people be able to look at my account and know that that's what Joe Smith from Michigan does. Or I could just sit back and not participate and listen. Or if I do participate, I think about it before I do. Because I don't want people looking at Joe Smith from Goodyear, Michigan and knowing he's a dumbass. Social pressure, the strongest force in the world. We're a social species. Human beings are a social species. And being looked at as a dumbass or an outcast, oh man, dude, that is a really, really, really powerful social tool that should not be given up by the internet. The internet has allowed people that normally would be pushed to the margins because they walk in and act like assholes, has allowed them to become part of the conversation. And it makes them think that in real life, that's what they are. I see it all the time, guys. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but when we do these meetups and stuff, I see all the time dudes that don't talk to people face to face. You can tell that their life is a meme. It's a meme dream. When they show up in person and they come and talk to me, it's like they've never had a conversation in their life. I've seen it over and over and over and over again. And it's a giant fucking balloon that's gonna pop at some point. At some point, our society is going to have to deal with a profound amount of young men and I guess young women who don't know how to have a conversation with anybody, who don't know how to socialize, who are raised on the internet, who think that you say stupid shit to people in their face. Serious question, Paul. I get not wanting trolls ruining conversation, but what about the casual jokes and the like? Is there a way to tell them apart? Yes. Yes, there is a way to tell them apart. You've just got to use your discernment. You've got to read a comment and decide whether that person is just giving you a lighthearted ribbing. I mean, sure, the area between those things is blurred, in large part because of the disingenuousness of so many people. You know what I mean? That's part of when everything becomes trolling, nothing is. That's kind of what I'm talking about. When everything becomes trolling, then nothing is trolling anymore. Then you're dealing with something else. I'm fine with one account, but in the age of doxing, this being tied to your personal data is a no-no. Well, you don't have to use that. See, that's the great thing about my plan. One anonymous account, one public face. 2 accounts that you can use anywhere on the internet. One public, one private. So if you don't want your personal detail, don't use your public profile. Don't use it. Just use your anonymous account. You know what you're going to have to do, though? You're going to have to do the maintenance on that anonymous account to make sure that it doesn't get fucking banned. You're going to have to actually participate. You're going to have to not troll, not derail. You're going to have to be calm and courteous in conversation. You're going to have to give other people a chance to speak. And you're going to have to think before you hit the post button. Other than that, though, get out there with your anonymous account. You don't want people looking at your fucking personal details? Don't use it anywhere. That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Also, trolls that are literally hired by PR firms for politics or corporations to counter bad publicity against them. That's really messed up. The internet. I mean, yeah, you never know what you're dealing with anymore. It's over. Like, you cannot have a society where one man can be a million men and never has to take responsibility for anything he says or does. That's not a society. That's not a public square. That is bullshit. 100%. Paul, it seems like you care about other people too much. Just brush the stupidity off your shoulder. Look after yourself and forget everyone else. Well, thanks for the $5, but no thanks for the dumb advice. I remember when on South Park a troll trolled the world by doxing all trolls and everything they ever done on the internet and where they live by making it public on an archive search engine. No, I don't. I don't watch South Park anymore, so I haven't watched South Park in years. Think before you speak. Think before you speak. How would that work, Paul? You're proposing a magical invention without an explanation. Let's have a clock that shows you how. What? What are you talking about, Peter? I'm talking about fundamentally changing the internet to where every citizen of the world has 2 accounts. One public, one private. Those accounts are used on every website. You can sign up with the website with your public account or your private account or both. And once both of those are banned, you're no longer heard by the people that banned you. You've given up your ability to be heard by them because you've said stupid shit and you've gotten banned. Everybody else has to follow the same rules, so you want to ban me back and never hear something I have to say? It's the same thing as walking away from somebody in the public square. If I'm standing around the public square, hanging around with my friends, and some dude pulls out a soapbox and stands on it and starts going, "Poopy doopy, salty donkey, poopy doopy doo, what are you doing? You're having a dumb conversation. This is stupid." I can just stand up and walk away from that person and never hear from them again. I'm advocating for the same rules to apply to the internet. You come in here and say something stupid, you got the total right to do it. And I've got the total right to walk away from you in the public square and never hear what your stupid fucking soapbox speech is ever again. What if they follow you? Then I go into my private residence. Or I call the police. I mean, in public, if somebody follows you around screaming at you, you call the police and have them arrested for harassment. On the internet, you just block them and they can't do it anymore. Again, how do you sign an anon account to a person without having a record on them? You allow the person to create it. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no records. I'm just saying that those records aren't publicly viewable. I'm not advocating for a total anonymity on the internet. That's just an impossibility. Somebody somewhere is going to have a record of your account. I'm just saying it's not publicly available. That account is not publicly tieable to your main account in any way. So you can go and say, "Poopy, scoopy, poop, fuck, farts," anywhere you want. Self-internet policing is the only way to do it. The only way to do it, because the other option is putting somebody in charge of discerning what's good and what's bad for you. That sound good to you? I'd rather make that choice myself. The only way that works is if there's accountability, though. I can't make that choice right now. I can't ban, like Peter, watch this. He's gone. He's dumb. He's gone. He'll be back. Somebody talking just like Peter within 5 minutes from now will be back. So I don't have choice anymore. I'm kind of, if I want to be on the internet, I'm held hostage to the fact that people have infinite free time and can just create a million little sub-identities and come in and face absolutely no consequence for the stupid shit that they talk. That doesn't work. That's something that's going to have to be addressed if the internet is going to be a tool for communication and public speech. Period. Authenticity on the internet is absolutely dead. It is there are very few people that you can find on the internet that are trying to be authentic, because authenticity is not rewarded anymore. It used to be people used to like finding personalities on the internet that felt conversational, that felt real, that presented their real personalities to people. People used to like that window. Now they don't. Now those people are actually ridiculed for having the audacity to say something real, for having the audacity to put themselves out there and suffer the slings and arrows of their own speech. People don't like it. Peter got a wrench. Sorry. Let me remove that. I clicked a little hard. I clicked a little quick. Peter's a wrench. Maybe that is a smart thing. Maybe I should let Peter start just banning people. Yeah. I agree so much. It's all just stupid attention seeking. It's just pointless too. It adds absolutely nothing. You know, and I like trolls, which is why I advocate for this anonymous account being a thing, because I think trolls provide a good public service. But this really isn't talking about trolls. This is talking about, like, there's a difference between trolling and literally just saying stupid shit. Like, that's just saying some poop, poop, pee pee. That's not trolling. That's not trolling. That takes 5 seconds, and a fucking 4-year-old could do it. If that's the case, then it can't be trolling. Trolling is an adult thing. It's something that it requires thought behind it. You have to try and get under someone's skin. You have to look at the long game. One comment dropping, one stupid comment being dropped in a fucking chat is never trolling. If a 4-year-old, think about it. If a 4-year-old can do it, it's not trolling. A 4-year-old can type poo poo pee pee, doody caca in the chat and hit go. You're not trolling. I'm not talking about trolls. Trolls, that's fine. That's why my solution that I propose to people has an anonymous account built in, because I see the value in actual trolling, and I want people to be able to do that. I'm not talking about trolls. I'm talking about derailers. I'm talking about people that are just literally stupid, that come with the purpose of nothing other than to just drop stupidity in your chat and make all other conversation impossible. That's what I'm talking about. That's not a troll. If a 4-year-old can do it, it's not trolling. A 4-year-old can come in here and spam and make the whole fucking chat unreadable. That's not trolling. That's just being stupid. That's what I'm arguing against here. Accountability for people who get off on being stupid because there's no accountability anymore. You go inside. Go. When I was banned, did you think I was derailing the conversation? I don't remember the comment that I banned you for, but I seem to remember that I didn't think you were necessarily derailing the conversation, but intentionally trying to be adversarial in the conversation in a way that was just stupid and didn't have any thought behind it. But, you know, I'd have to go back and look at your actual comment to see why I timed you out. I experienced what you're talking about. The first flash fried Discord I went to on Wednesdays, I couldn't stand it, and now I don't show up to them. I mean, whatever. I'm sorry that it's not something that's fun for you, but I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because it's typically got at least 2 or 3 people in it that don't know how to have a conversation, that literally are just going to yell memes at you. Individual. Oh, Buncle, look who it is. It's Paul in a situation. It's just like, oh my fucking God, what are you even doing here? Is that what you, like, that's the interaction that you want to have with me? So you've got this, like, perk that you purchased, right? For $10 to have a fucking conversation with me and the people that are on the show with me, right? And you want to talk about a meme that's fucking 15 years old? It's just like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Oh, I totally understand it, dude. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's just like, These are people that have not had conversations with people in their life. They don't converse with people. All of their interactions happen on the internet where it just scrolls by. You know, and so if I say something stupid that nobody notices, that's kind of what I expect, because that's all I ever do. And then they come into an actual verbal conversation and they're the same thing. And the salty, salty salt. The screen is fucking laggy. It's like, what are you doing here? Do you think anybody in here hasn't heard that a million fucking times? Is that a joke now? It's just, what are you doing? Like, you don't have conversations with real people. You just don't. And it's a problem. It's a problem. It's funny here, but if you look at the big fucking issue here of an entire generation of young men and women that don't know how to, like, hi, have a normal conversation. They think that, like, what they type in a fucking YouTube chat is how they should be. So you're having a conversation standing at the water cooler at your job? You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to get this stack of fucking reports done, and this person comes along. They're never gonna have a job. They're never gonna have a fucking wife. They're never gonna have friends. Their entire life is gonna be watching the chat scroll by and hoping that the person that's fucking making the comment, like making the content that they're consuming, reads their stupid comment and fucks on them for it. Couldn't that be a blessing in disguise? No. Go have a conversation with some of these dudes and tell me it's a blessing in disguise. Go have a face-to-face conversation with some of these people and tell me there's a blessing anywhere involved. It's a curse. It's a curse. We're forgetting how to talk to one another. We're forgetting how to speak to one another and have a conversation where an idea is transferred from one mind to the next. That's been fucked. You don't think that's a problem? You don't think that's an issue? I do. Man, I'm in a shitty mood. Just a real shit fuck mood, man. See ya, Adrian. See you in 5 seconds, Adrian, on your next fucking account, Adrian. See what I mean? This is what we're advocating for. Dipshits. I'm shocked that Adrian isn't already back. In fact, he probably is. One of you is probably him. He probably had 2 fucking tabs open, logged into 2 different fucking accounts so that he can immediately come straight back. And that's the way it is, dude. Internet's taking a toll on me. Internet's taking a toll on us all. I ain't the only one feeling this way, man. I ain't the only one that's just like sick in my heart for real conversation. I'm not the only one that looks at this incredible tool that we have that connects people and ideas across vast spaces and watches it being used for poopy scoopy doop 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 salty individual situation. I'm not the only one that's fucking weeping internally about this. Trust me. Lamau, you're triggered. Lamau, you're timed out. Isn't that funny? Oops, I didn't time you out. I hid you completely. Lamau, you're gone. Lamau, you've got to go log into your other account now. Lamau, I just wasted 15 seconds of your life. How you like me now? Thank you for being one of the real people. I don't know. I'm not trying to be one of the real people. I'm not trying to get praise and shit. This is not what this is about. I'm fucking utterly heartsick at the lack of ability for young adults to have conversations with people and transfer ideas. I'm heartsick that that has been replaced by people just trying to be stupid and get negative attention because they can't get positive. You know, I would much rather these people, because they can't get positive attention with their stupid ideas and bad grammar, to go out and become better people because of it. Learn to use the language. Think about your fucking arguments before you put them out there. And then at the end of it, you won't be a stupid person. You won't be a person that's immediately looked down upon in these communities, and you won't have to rely on nothing but negative feedback to get your jollies. And you can get some positive feedback too. You can actually participate in a conversation, add your perspective to it, create a more nuanced view of the picture that we're talking about. You can be a person that actually contributes to conversations that matter. That should be something that drives people. But right now, because people are so, they're so inundated with a need for attention without wanting to put in the work that it takes to get positive attention. So that's easily traded with negative attention from people who have developed the ability to converse. So if you have the ability to converse, there's a whole swath of people out there right now that want your attention. But they don't want it on the things that you're talking about. They don't want it on interesting topics or whatever the flow of the conversation is. They want you to call them a retard. They want you to call them stupid. They want you to take 5 to 10 seconds out of your day to ban them. Because that's the only human interaction that they get is negative. And they've come to drink it up like milk. That's how they feed themselves. You're an asshole. They get a little rush. Oh, he mentioned me. Let me go get on another account. You're a fucking retard, Paul. LOL. Please. Oh, he banned me again. Oh, man. Attention. Isn't it great? Isn't that a great way to talk? Do you think this shift of people not knowing how to talk to people will cause less people in emergency service jobs, which is a lot of I mean, it's gonna cause, like, look, this is a problem that compounds pretty much with every generation. So it's now a generational problem. I'd say at least there's a generation or two of people out there that are like this, and there's a group of people coming up behind them that are just like this as well. And those people are going to have a hard time finding mates. They're going to have a hard time finding jobs. They're going to have a hard time finding friends. They're going to have a hard time having any kind of social interaction at all. And what's going to replace that for them is this internet thing, where nothing that you say is appended to you, where that nothing that you say has any real consequence, and where negative attention is served up as an analog for positive attention and positive contribution to a conversation or a topic. Ashley's definitely part of that generation, yes. It's definitely getting worse. It's not probably getting worse. It's definitely getting worse. And nobody wants to talk about it like it's a real problem because everybody's kind of participating in it on some level. So, you know, if you want to call that salty or triggered or whatever you want to call it, go ahead. But hi. Hello. Thank you for picking up your poop, by the way. I heard you have that conversation down there.
I'll try and teach them right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. All the other generations are bad while mine was cool and isn't just as retarded. Because that's what I said, Brianna. See, people get really, like, they get real defensive when I say that there's a generational problem. They're like, oh, what, your generation was great? No, my generation had its problems too. It had its fair share of dumb people, but see, there were consequences for dumb people when I was a kid, you know? Like if you were the type of person that walked up into a conversation and just said stupid shit and derailed it, people didn't want to stand around and talk with you anymore. And if it got bad enough, they'd tell you to fuck off. And then you had nobody to talk to. Then you had nobody to spin your stupid shit to. So there was social pressure on you to learn how to have a conversation and to learn how to be friends with people and to learn how to not be a negative fucking force that shows up in people's lives. Learn how to be a human being. Learn how to talk to a human being. You're being hyperbolic. Oh, okay. Well, it's hard to tell on the internet. Another problem with the internet. Does Ashley know how to talk to people? Sure. Sure, she does. She also engages in the exact type of shit that I'm talking about here. Because, of course, she learned that growing up. I engage in it. Or at least I have. I don't really so much anymore, but I've done the nobody knows who I am thing. You know, I've played with that before. I see the at least like the benefit. You know, I see what people are chasing. I just don't think it's something that should be preserved. I don't think it's something that should be encouraged. It's the death of socialization. That's really what we're talking about here. And maybe, you know, maybe that is dead. Maybe going forward, human beings will deal with each other at arm's length and nothing will mean anything. And, you know, maybe that'll end up being a positive thing. Maybe I am just an old man screaming at a cloud here, thinking about days when human beings actually had conversations that mattered and where stupid people were encouraged socially to not be so stupid. Maybe that's over. The next evolution of socialization is non-socialization. It's fake arm's length socialization where there's no consequences and nothing ever gets done. No, that's not an evolution, that's a devolution. We're learning communication through the internet. That's a bad place to learn it. It's a bad place to learn an art that involves personal interaction in a place where personal interaction never happens. That's a bad place to learn personal interaction in a place where there is none. Whoa!
Heard you talking shit, bro.
Talking shit? Who's talking shit?
You, bruh.
About what? About who? About you? No. Somebody asked if you know, are of the generation that I'm talking about, and I said yes.
You're not talking shit. I just came here because I heard you talking about me.
Oh.
And I don't know.
Okay.
You're right, I guess.
I'm right? What do you think about this being a member of this generation? Have you been listening to the bullshit?
I've been listening to it, yeah.
Do you think that conversation is important?
Yeah.
Do you think that conversation happens a whole lot on the internet?
I mean, conversation as a broad term, yes.
Like, do you think that it's the same as sitting down and talking to somebody?
No?
No. Well, what is it then? What is it when, like, the person on the other end could just not even be that person? And could be saying something that they don't believe, and there's no way to fucking...
I mean, that's the same in person, though, too.
I mean, yeah, but then at that point, you've got a person that you can append that to. So, like, if that person comes up to you and lies about themselves or does something stupid, then the next time that person walks up to you, you can tell them, fuck off, I don't want to talk to you. You're a lying piece of shit, and they're out of your life. On the internet, they just come back as somebody else and keep doing the same thing.
I mean, they could, or you could
No,
just
they
fucking
do.
block them.
Yeah, well, okay, so let's say I block somebody out of here. What does that actually accomplish? Nothing. If I block somebody for being stupid, right, and saying stupid shit and just purposefully derailing the conversation, they're back in 5 seconds because they've got 1 million accounts. So I've actually done nothing, and there's no way to walk away from people anymore. So if you're standing around with your friends at school, think about when you were a school kid. Somebody walked up with a handful of duty and was like, poopy poop, poopy poop. You probably wouldn't chill with that kid ever again, right? You'd probably stand on the other side of the fucking place from that kid and never talk to them again.
Yeah.
On the internet, though, that day you can tell that kid go away, and then 5 seconds later he comes back with a new face and a new handful of poop. You can never walk away from them.
I mean, yes and no. I don't know. I mean, you can... what you have to do is you just have to keep blocking them, keep ignoring them.
So now, instead of having a conversation with your friends, your day is walking away from the same guy, by the way, that continuously goes and puts a mask on and walks into your conversation. Now you're no longer having a conversation. Now you and your friends are going, oh, it's that stupid idiot again. Let's walk over here. Then by the time you get there, he's there again with another handful of poop, and you go, oh, it's that stupid idiot again.
Well,
Let's walk over here.
I don't stream on YouTube, so I don't have that problem.
Well, yeah.
I don't have that problem. I get in DMs if I want to just talk with my friends than the people
Sure.
I know.
No, I understand, like, personal, like, the internet works well for that, for people that you know.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you mentioned people growing up learning how to communicate on the internet, and that is very true with me and some people that I know.
Right.
And I've gotten out of it somewhat, not fully, though.
Of course not, because that's how you learned how to communicate with people.
Yeah. But I feel kind of bad for those who haven't gotten out of that.
Well, there's a lot.
Yeah, I know. Because, like, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. Unfortunately, most people have to, you know, fit into this, like, normal, to, like, get higher in life, you know? Like, I had to learn how to actually get a
job.
job.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means that you can't be a meme lord.
I didn't sit, like, I don't know, I had, like, a dream when I was, like, a meme lord and didn't know how to communicate with people of being a Twitch streamer, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make all my money.
That's a lot of these people's dreams.
And that is a lot of people's dreams, and it doesn't come true because they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to entertain people.
Right.
And that, like, was my problem. And I had chased that dream for a while, and then I don't know, I turned 19 and I got a job at fucking Dollar General, and, you know, first thing they did was put me on the front register, and I had to learn how to talk to people.
Right.
Real quick.
Yeah.
And I did. I still struggle with it, and I don't really go much farther than the customer-employee boundary, but...
It's still a big part of what you have to do.
Yeah.
And working with other people, too, that are actual personalities.
Yeah.
Having other people around you that you have to have conversations with.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Coworkers that I don't like, I can't just block them.
Right. You can't just block them, and you can't troll them, and you can't be a meme lord about it.
Yeah.
You've got to fucking actually deal with them in a human way.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. That's a huge problem. And like you, like, I don't even really think you're from the generation I'm talking about. I think your sister is.
Maybe, but my sister's not really a great example because she's very social.
I know. I'm just saying that age range, not necessarily your sister as a particular.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's also, like, people who seem to just go out and do shit just so that they can post a picture on Instagram and brag about it. It's, like, really weird.
It's a really weird thing. And I don't understand what it is.
Me, I like to hike. Not really, but here's a picture of me hiking. Like, I don't know.
I don't get it either. That part is, yeah, I think it's probably connected too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This, what is it then? It's like everybody wants to be a personality.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to put in the work of being a personality.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks they are one.
Yeah.
What is that? What do you do with that? How do you fix that?
You don't. I don't think.
You don't. Oh, shit.
You take away the internet. But you can't do that now. It's too late.
What about my two account solution?
There's not really a solution to that. You just have to keep...
What about my two account solution? The internet, in order to get onto it, you have to sign up, right? You get two accounts. One of them is your public profile that people can look at and see, I'm Ashley. I work, you know, whatever you want to put on there, but it's your real one. You got your real face and name on it. And then the other one's totally anonymous. You can name it Poop or Scoop Magooter or whatever you want to call it. And you can just...
That was implemented when the internet first became a thing, but now...
What about now? Why can't we change it? Why can't we change the way that the internet is? It gives people the ability to be anonymous because they've got their poopy doopy account, so they can go and troll. But it saves The people that are actually making things, people that are having conversations, from having to reblock somebody 15 fucking times because they've got more free time than I do.
There's always going to be a way around it.
Not in my way.
There's
It's
never,
like
there's never a perfect solution.
in my way there is.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to
Two
be
accounts.
Yeah, no, there's going to be people who are
It's
gonna
not
find a
perfect.
way
It's
to
not
get around
perfect for
that.
them. How are they going to find a way around it? If literally you're only allowed to have 2 accounts, you're only allowed you have a public profile and a private profile, and those are what you use to sign up on every website. So if you want to have a YouTube account, you got to either choose
Because
your
there are
public or
people
private
out
profile.
there who are going to find a way to make other accounts.
If those accounts aren't tied to a fucking social security number, then those accounts are deleted.
Fake social security numbers. They'll hack the systems. They'll use dead
They'll-
people's. They'll use their friends instead.
Yeah, but still, they're not-
There is no 100% sure
You're
way
right.
to fix this
You're right,
problem.
but we've limited it. Now they don't. Now they can't make infinity accounts. Now they have to know a dead person, or they have to go and find a fake social security number, or they have to hack the botnet. It puts a barrier.
Doesn't, Korea use social security numbers to make accounts for things and phone numbers?
I think so.
I
Yes.
think that they do.
I think that you have to have an actual proof that you're an actual resident in order to make an account for something. And if you're banned from that account, you don't get to make another one.
Yeah, I have remembered having that trouble because I couldn't make like a Korean Nexon account without like a Korean social security number. I was like,
I don't
"What?"
like it, says the guy who literally comes in here with accounts that he's created to troll Tommy Sotomayor. Of course you don't like it because you've got nothing but free time to create infinite accounts called Tommy Wears His Mama's Panties, or Tommy Raped a Woman in 1982, or Tommy Sotomayor is a scumbag. But you have to understand that people that have nothing but that amount of time on their hands do nothing but derail conversations. They add nothing.
A black market internet. Yeah, that's a good point. Could
Well, I don't care about
like-
that. Yeah, people want to have a black market internet where they can get in rooms together and have no accountability and go poop, goop, troll each other all day. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know. Why are you so big on accountability?
Why am I so big on accountability? Because I think it's important. I think character is important. I think if you're going to say something, you should have the right to say anything that you want. But I think that part of that responsibility comes with accountability. If I say something like, I'm a Nazi, and I hate black people and I want all Jews to be burned, and if I say that and I make that statement over and over, if I have character, I'm willing to say that to anybody. And if I don't have character, I say it behind everybody's backs and I pretend I'm a Nazi. And then when I'm in public, I'm not. That's a lack of character. Character is important. If you're going to say something and contribute to a conversation, you should be willing to stand behind it. And if you're not, you shouldn't say it at all. That's part of free speech. If I stand on my soapbox in the public square and I make a speech about something, people have the right to listen or not. People have the right to shout back at me. People have the right to intercede. Because there's accountability. I'm a face. I'm a person that you can see. And if you see me again, you'll know, oh, that's that guy that was ranting and raving out in the fucking park and he wouldn't listen to a fucking reason. I'm not going to deal with that guy. That's what character is about. It's about owning the things that you say and realizing that words have consequences and ideas have consequences. And if you're going to be a person that spins ideas all day, you ought to be willing to hear the other side of it. But on the internet, we don't have that. It's a one-way street. For a person like me who's like, hey, I'm Paul Parkey, I'm out here, this is my face, this is what I really think, I have to fight a legion of people who aren't willing to do that, and I have to treat their I have to have a conversation with those people. Even though I can't, like, there's no accountability on their end. They're not like me. They're not putting their real persona out. If one of these people sees me in the street, they can walk up to me and go, hey,
I think
I don't like what you think.
I don't know. I think that trying to treat these names that are coming up on your screen as real people is where you
But they are.
going wrong.
But they are.
I mean, sure.
They're
but
real people. There's a human being on the other end of these dumbass
I
accounts.
hardly ever treat those people like real people.
I can't not do that. That's a person. How do you not treat them like real people?
Because I don't know them and I don't care who they are.
I don't care who they are either.
I don't care about their character. I don't care if they own up to shit or not. Their name on my fucking screen.
I don't
That's
care
all
who they
they
are either, because they haven't done the due diligence of making me care about them as a person. What I care about is the fact that when I'm running something like this, I don't have to deal with them the entire show. I can do what I can do in real life. If I don't like a person, I don't go chill with them. I block them from my life, ostensibly, right? I can't do that here. Because the real people making these accounts constantly insinuate themselves into my conversation. If I block a person here, they're back in 5 seconds or less.
Well, I mean, the awesome thing is that you could ignore them.
I can't ignore them, though. Because I do a show that's based around a fucking conversation with people.
Yeah, well, just ignore those
If I
people who
ignore
aren't
what's going
engaging
on in my chat, I'm
conversation.
not having a conversation.
No, I'm not saying to ignore everybody. Ignore the shitters.
There are some times when you can't ignore the shitters, when there's nothing but shitters.
Why? There's nothing but
So
shitters.
my show then would be long fucking conversation, would be long periods of me just waiting for somebody to make an even on topic or an intelligent post
No, because
that drives a conversation forward.
okay, for you specifically, there's not going to be long points of silence because that's just not how you are.
Well, I guess that's true.
So you don't have to worry about that at all. But you already do it though. You sit there and you talk and talk and talk and you watch for a good comment to come by and then you'll reply to it.
Right.
So then,
But I still have to read and sift through all the bullshit.
Yeah, I mean that's just part of it. I don't
No,
know.
it shouldn't be.
I don't know.
Me having a conversation with people that actually came to have a conversation with me shouldn't entail me having to sift through bullshit. I should be able to walk away from the people that aren't participating and have a conversation, no? It's the same anywhere else. If you're talking with
In
your
my opinion,
friends
it's
and
just
some idiot comes
That's not how
along,
the internet works. I don't know.
that I know that's not how the internet works, but I think it should. That's what I'm advocating for here. I think that the internet doesn't work because of that. I think that it's become a place where it's more about memes and less about actual conversation and human connection. And I think that it shouldn't be that way. That's why I'm having this conversation. I agree with you. That's not the way that fucking the internet works right now. That's not how real life works. So if I'm standing around having a conversation with my friends and some idiot comes by and goes, shit twat, I can't tell that motherfucker to go away or move my conversation elsewhere and never think of that person again. That is exactly how real life works. Oh, shit.
Sorry. I'm trying to move away from this bug and I rammed my head into your knee.
It's just a fucking stink bug or something.
Is it like a love bug or whatever? Ow.
Sorry. I mean, I don't know what I did, but sorry.
No, I rammed my head into your knee. It's not your fault.
You have mods, just let them exercise the ban hammer if you're bummed about it. And that's the whole point of this conversation, is for me to talk about what bummed me out. Why I went from being in a good mood to a bad mood.
I just ignore idiots. I mean,
I do it to the best of my ability, but I
mean, maybe you should work on that ability.
I really don't think that the answer is learning how to ignore people that come in with a million accounts and
That's
turn
the
the
only
chat
thing
into
you
an
can
unreadable
do.
mess. No, it isn't. It isn't the only thing I can do. I'm applying social pressure in my own chat right now for these people to be fucking not stupid. I've got mods in here that police it for me. There are things I can do. I do them every day.
Yeah, but you're saying you're tired of doing those things.
I am. I'm tired of them being necessary for me to just sit down and have a conversation with people who want to. I'm tired of it being necessary for me to read reams of shit that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about, that are only put out there because somebody is desperate for negative attention from me. If that person desperate for negative attention and that's all they're bringing to the conversation is their desperation to have somebody block them or talk about them in a negative way, then I should be able to just quietly block that person and not worry about them coming back and doing it again.
But you can't.
Right. I'm advocating for a change.
A change that probably ain't gonna happen.
What's the point of having conversations about anything then? See, this is one of those generational differences. Every change that's happened started with a conversation just like this. Every societal change, every change to the internet, every change to the way things work started with conversations just like this.
I'm just somebody who kind of adapts to it, I guess.
Well, you were born on it. You were born into it. They plugged you in as soon as you came out of your mother's womb. I'm not. I actually had conversations as a teenager. I actually dealt with social repercussions for the things that I said and then watched other people deal with the same things. And it worked. It was a social compact that worked really well, because you know what happened when dumbasses walked into groups of people and acted like dumbasses enough? They became loners. And then they had to go like, maybe it's me. And they had to change the way that they were and start fucking actually contributing. And then they got to walk up and have friends. And they learned how to be a social creature. Now they don't.
Or
They don't
just
have
went
to.
with other assholes and they all did asshole things together.
No. No. There was no crew of fucking assholes.
Really?
No. People that literally didn't know how to have a fucking conversation didn't have friends. Nobody wanted to talk to them because they were stupid and annoying and full of shit. So nobody wasted their time. They marginalized them socially. And then those people sitting there alone and sad had to go like, maybe I shouldn't be such a dick. Maybe I should learn how to have a conversation. Maybe I should learn how to look people in the eye and shake their hands and actually be fucking a presence in a conversation rather than just an annoyance. Some of them did and some of them didn't. But either way, the people that were actually having conversations and socializing didn't have to deal with them.
I'm watching a little spider that's inside the house.
Cool. Spider bro.
Yeah. He's on the window.
Sounds like you're just losing our human connection to one another. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I'm arguing about here. And I guess really it's the difference in some people's positions is whether or not they think that human connection is worth saving. I mean, if you're going to take Ashley's tact and just ignore it, then it's not. It's not worth saving. It's just worth turning over to this new kind of paradigm where nobody is anybody. You know? Jim James is not who he really is. He's not Gregory Peck or whatever the fuck from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's Jim James, the internet thing. I don't like it. Yoo-hoo in here trolling with his cartoon avatar and shit gets trolled. The human connection, Limfow. Here we go. So here's a guy who's shown that he's not going to contribute to the conversation. Let me go ahead and block him. He'll be back. He'll be back. That's okay. That's the new human interaction. That's what we do now. Nobody is anybody. Nobody's real. And the people that are real have to spend their entire lives dealing with people who aren't. That's what the new internet is. Congratulations, guys. It's pretty awesome here. Huh?
I don't know. I mean, like, I only spend my time with people who show themselves to be real.
Who show themselves to be real? How do I do that and do this? No way.
Well, I mean, you know, there's some names that are come by and seem to have an actual personality. Like, I see Clout a lot in here. They're cynic.
Yeah. Who's Clout, though?
So,
Who's Clout? Who is he?
I don't know.
What is he? Man? Woman?
I have no idea.
What's he do for a living? What's he bring to the table? Why should I listen to anything Clout has to say? What's his background? What other conversations has he had about this? What has he contributed?
I mean, he actually, like, contributes to the conversations as far as I've seen.
I understand that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, how do I know that he is who he is? How do I know that the things that he's saying are fucking real? What's he done? Who is he? He's Clout-esque with a cartoon avatar. That's not a person. It's not a human being. It's not a conversation.
If you're looking for conversations with real people, then here is not the place to be doing it.
But this is the only place that's happening now. People don't have conversations anymore. This is where it happens. This is how we talk to each other now.
Is it, like, I don't know, I see a lot of people, like, a lot of coworkers of mine going out and doing things with their friends and whatnot.
Yeah, people still go out, but I'm just talking about conversations like this, about politics and broad concepts.
You do that with TJ and Scotty, don't you?
Yeah, those are my personal friends.
Yeah. Get more personal friends then, if you want more of those kind
I've
of
got enough personal friends.
Okay, then stop fucking complaining.
Okay, fair enough. I guess you got me there. Institute a standard where mods will ban anyone without real names in their profiles. I don't think that I think that would be, everybody in here would be banned, including me. I hide my name so I don't risk my job, Paul. Until I don't need to worry about it, about money, I'll stay anonymous. Okay. You hide your name. Is that why all the people in here are hiding their names? Because they're afraid that their job is going to be threatened by their real name and their real opinions being out there?
Oh yeah, I mean, that is a thing. People get...
That's a thing for some people. There are very few people in this world that have a job that would be threatened by memeing on the internet. So let's be honest. There are people that work in very, very highly public positions that have to be careful about what they say on the internet.
I've heard of college students getting rejected for, like, following...
You've heard a
Alex
meme.
Jones.
You've heard a meme.
Like...
You've heard a meme. There's nobody that has not gotten a job at a Burger King because they follow Alex Jones or said something stupid on the internet. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You think most people don't work at jobs like that?
Like a real
Your average person... Careers, like, dude, you don't understand. Like, I talked shit on the internet for years and worked in a fucking high-paid tech job for years. Nobody cared.
Yeah, and if like the wrong person or right, I don't know, if
It's
your
just stupid.
supervisor
It's a stupid
did
argument
care.
that only applies to a very small amount of people with public-facing jobs. Most people, nobody even looks. Nobody cares what you're saying online.
But there
Most jobs.
There are people out there who do.
Yeah. If there are people out there that do have those jobs, then yeah, those people can make those. Those people can make those excuses for why they're a meme lord on the internet, I guess. But the profound balance of jobs in this country, nobody's not getting them because they follow Alex Jones or said something politically weird. It's just not happening. So it's like one of those things that everybody uses, and here's why I'm a fucking anonymous meme lord on the internet, because I'm a gerb. Number one, there's no way to even fucking prove that that person saying it even has a job. So I don't know how you quantify that fucking excuse in the first place. Number two, most jobs don't give a shit what you say or do on the internet, period.
Yeah, but there's
So
certainly
every last person on the
jobs that
internet,
do.
every last person on the internet that's meme lording in my chat has a job they're trying to protect? Nope. Sorry. Nope. Sorry. McDonald's, your job, they don't care what you say on the internet or get to.
Probably not.
That's the type of job that most people work. Most people work entry-level jobs in this country, where they don't have a public face, where they're not held to an accountability standard that includes the internet.
Sure, but
It's a
there
dumb
are
excuse.
people.
It's a dumb excuse, though. It's a dumb excuse because, number one,
We
there's
don't
no
know
way...
what job you work in.
Part of the problem, isn't it? He could just be lying his fucking ass off. He could be sitting in his house as an unemployed dude living off of his mom's fucking Social Security and claiming that he needs to be a meme lord on the internet because he's protecting some high-profile government job. It's just bullshit. It's a bullshit excuse. Next. Do you think it's safer to stay anonymous on the internet? Safer in terms of what? Safer in terms of not ever having to hear any contrary opinions? Safer in terms of being able to say stupid shit without there being any consequences in your real life? Yeah. I think it's safer to be anonymous on the internet. I think it's also safer to never get in a conversation in real life to avoid those things too. I don't think it's the right choice, but I do think it's safer. You don't open yourself up to any criticism. You don't open yourself up to the possibility of your feelings getting hurt or your sensibilities being defied. So yeah, it's probably safer. Probably safer to, don't go outside. It's probably safer to never leave your house because you can't trip on something. You can't fall on a crack on the sidewalk. It's definitely safer. It's not the right choice, but it's safer, sure. In terms of protecting yourself from any kind of negative feelings or negative issues, yeah, it's safer. Definitely. Young people should stay anonymous, but adults should be open about themselves. Why? I agree with you on that. We all should be live with our speech. Almost everyone has an anonymous name and don't troll. What? I sure don't have the CIA with every aunt plus my mom and their Amanda Waller job. That blows. What? I don't even understand that. I should ban you for just being a nonsensical idiot. That's another thing too, is like I'm constantly blown away by how dumb people are now. Like how people don't know how to use punctuation, they don't know how to spell, they don't know how to structure a sentence or a paragraph to where it's a readable thing. Like you have no
I
idea.
see a lot of that because I role play.
Dude, like at least 20 times per fucking show that I do like this, I read something that makes no sense. And it's like somebody typed that.
Or they just like...
What a
Or
failure.
they just hit the little button on their keyboard that auto-predicted. Look, watch this.
Oh, I've done it before. I know. Why don't you go by Paul Parkey online if you don't like using anonymous names? Isn't Highdeology the same thing? Is there anybody in here that doesn't know my name? I've been open about my name for years and years and years and years and years. I don't care that you're using Roger Fox 3 as your name. I care that if you use it to make stupid fucking statements so that they don't get pinned on you, and then you use a dumb excuse like my fucking Burger King job might be threatened. That's what I care about. You never ask for people's names because I know I'm not going to get them. You can't ask people, "Hey dude, what's your name, Dylan DePickle? What's your full name, dude? Where do you live and where do you work, and let me see a picture of you so you're a real person." Okay, here, this is me. I'm Joe Blow. I live in Nowheresville, Kansas. It's like you can't trust people to be honest about themselves.
I just realized I'm outside and not completely miserable.
I'm pretty miserable. I'm sweating. Look at me. I got beads.
Well, you have a hat on, that's why. You're trapping all of your heat in.
Dude, this is a canvas hat. It ain't trapping nothing. He'd be
Oh,
going
fuck
all the
off.
way through
No,
that
it's
hat.
trapping.
It ain't trapping
It's
shit.
trapping.
It ain't trapping.
You'd be trapping.
Greetings from Poland. Sweet Poland. Let your scalp breathe, Paul. You should make sure your phone's not going to overheat. It's probably time to end this anyway. I mean, it seems to be doing okay, but I'm done. Have fun.